Welcome back to the vlog. It's a very rainy and stormy one today. We're currently having a storm in the UK. It's been going on all weekend, and hence the noise you can hear in the background. So last time obviously we got the fender off of the mould, off the foam. Loads of work still to do to it. It's by no means finished. So today we're going to go over a few little things, start refining it, get it towards its kind of final phase. Really easy, simple stuff. I'll guide you through it. I'm going to switch back and forth between that kind of voiceover style I did last week, because I'm kind of into it, to be honest. I think it works quite well. That and some kind of like glamorous shots, just to kind of, you know, spice it up a little bit and make it a bit more interesting for you. Before we do that, just to say a huge thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently, viewed it, liked it, whatever. It all sounds very cliche. All those little things do help the channel, all that interaction, it helps boost it. Just because so many people subscribed to it and watched it, it got over 100,000 views for the last video, which is insane, especially in the amount of time that it's been up. It helps a lot, it really does. So just those simple things, just like watching it, sharing it, all the usual stuff, like I said, helps massively. So again, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Right, let's get into some cool stuff. Now, one thing I've been meaning to do is change out these wheels. I still really like a steel wheel and I wanted to stick with that, so I managed to find this out on eBay. They're an absolute bargain, couldn't really resist. Now, one thing with these is they're not as aggressive, so width-wise and offset-wise they're not as strong, so they are sitting slightly inside the arch and it's giving us a squarer tyre profile, which I'm really happy with, to be honest. I think it kind of suits the car a lot more, and just the simple things like the circular holes, I prefer it. It makes it look a little bit cooler, I think, personally, so I hope you guys like it too. Now, some of you are wondering about the fixings on the overfenders. These self-tappers are just temporary. I'm going to switch them out for a riv nut just like this one here, and I end up using a titanium bolt just like I've used on the SVX. Obviously there's lots of little elements I need to refine on this, one of them being the little gaps between the bumper and the side of the overfender. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the foam again, going to cut that out. I'm going to start with the bottom piece. Obviously you're going to get the gist of what's going to happen here. Going to cut that out. I found some old plastic. The old plastic is actually what I was going to use. Well, it was the old diffuser for the SVX. It didn't actually get put on, so I've decided to use that as a kind of like a cap. I'm going to use that on the bottom, on the top, on the kind of upright as well, and kind of box it all in. But it's quite a nice thickness as well, so I'm going to use that, cut it all out, mould it all into it, fiberglass it, make it nice and strong. You get the idea. Alright, so I'm going to bounce back and forth between kind of the voiceover stuff and just the regular kind of vlogging style, just to kind of keep it a bit more interesting. Now, that's all cut out, obviously. Going to test fit in the bottom. So that's cut out nicely, fits snugly in there, like that. So I'll fiberglass that in. I'll do another piece up there, and I'll work out something else for here, make it look a bit more OEM and neater, get rid of this gap here. So once all those little bits and pieces are done, I'll skim over it with some fiberglass filler, get it level, nice and even, probably fix some pinholes with regular filler or Bondo. Then we're good to prime it. But it's going to take a while just to get all these little bits and pieces done, make it look really good. Now this is like the real kind of like time consuming bit, just getting it looking right, but it's worth it in the end, so it's worth sticking with it. So initially I'm just hot glue gunning it to hold it in position, then fiberglass filling it to firm it up a little bit more. Later on, once the rest are done, I'll go over them with fiberglass matting just to really make sure they're not going anywhere. Unfortunately, I ran out of time. I didn't get to do the rest of them, but they will be in this video just a bit later on. Now obviously we need to refine the rest of the overfender, so we're going to be using this stuff here. I like this stuff because it's really fine. You spread it really easily, it's not chunky. Obviously it fills up the imperfections in there. Gets you a good starting point, and you can obviously switch to a Bondo. I don't have a DA here or a compressor, so I'll just be using a regular kind of palm sander. I'm not going to mess around, going to rip into it with an 80 grit, like so. Anything else, you're just going to be wasting your time. It's going to take too long to do, so just go straight into it with an 80 grit, rip it down, don't mess around with it, just go at it. You can see here, I've skimmed a little patch here. You can see the difference between the two sections. So I'll buzz that down quickly, show you what it looks like, and then we're going to hit the rest of it. So obviously take the wheel off. I'm going to hit the rest of it, get it all shaped up. Plenty to do. It's going to be fun. That was just one very quick light skim. That's filled a bunch of the imperfections in. So take the wheel off. I won't bore you with that bit. But we'll take that off and then get filling on the bulk of this and sanding. Obviously back in the workshop now, a few things I didn't show you when I was at work is I rubbed it down a little bit more after priming it, and then I black primed it. Now the reason I black primed it is because it's going black eventually. It's going to go a texture coat finish. Now obviously I couldn't resist test fitting it on the car. There's still some tweaks I need to make before I do the final finish on it, so I'll show you what it looks like right now. There we go. This is just in primer, but it gives you an idea of what it looks like now. I need to soften up some of these edges. They're a bit too sharp for my liking. I don't want them kind of like razor sharp. I want them just a little bit softer, so I'm going to round them off a touch. Same on the front. I kind of soften this up a little bit here. Obviously I'm going to change the hardware. I've ordered some new hardware. The indicator, there's an indicator that goes on the side, so I'm actually going to fit that in on there like that. But the main thing I'm going to do is sort this line out on the arch. So bit of sanding, bit of finessing, and then we should be good to go. Right, took a little bit of fiddling. Everything's on now. Indicator's on. Decided to use just the lens on the outside, not the mounting, just because it's really, really big. It looked a bit weird. So that's on, all good. Obviously, I went over and softened the edges just a little bit. Just gave those a little bit of a curve. Just still need to figure out a few bits around there. It just needs to straighten up a little bit. But on the whole, it's good. I just went over it with some satin black just to help visualize what it's going to look like. Obviously the arch is shaped properly now. That looks great. Leveled all this out a little bit here, soften those edges, just kind of stuck a wedge of the diffuser on there just a little bit, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. But yeah, that's all good. That's all good. Really, really happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to work and I'm going to texture coat it. I'm going to do that in another episode because this is all over the place. Do my head in a little bit. So the next one will be just spraying that, fitting it, and then hopefully that will be it for that corner. And then we've got obviously 3 more to go. yeah, it's working there pretty well. So I'm going to finish it here. Hope you guys enjoyed it so far. Yeah, not too far to go. Really close to the end. Again, thank you so much for you know, all the support. Really appreciate it, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care. Subscribe.
You fools.